Welcome to Ethan's Garage. Today we're going to be exploring this junkyard, actually right on the border of Rhode Island. We're in Massachusetts, but Rhode Island is a few hundred feet over that way. This one's pretty extensive. I came here, I think maybe 2 times before. Always been some interesting stuff here, but let's check out what they have. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but whenever I come to a junkyard, I always feel this urge to go to the farthest corner first and then work my way back. I always feel like I'm going to miss something if I don't do that. Let's start off with this. Gotta say, I'm actually pretty surprised to see this here. It's always kind of fascinating to see what kind of stuff is represented. And I always gotta wonder when you see stuff this old if this has been here for a while or if this really is a recent addition. This is a nice old Porsche 914, which there's a... If you've never heard the story of the 914, I'd definitely look into it. It's pretty fascinating. I was actually going to step on that, but that's the Targa, which I'll make sure I keep intact. This thing is in just absolutely appalling shape. Oh my god. But 914 was originally meant to be a Volkswagen, so look into that whole story. It's quite fascinating. Let's see if the engine's even there. Nope. Transmission looks like it could be. Then we also have this, which I think, yeah, that's a Chevrolet. It can be hard to tell sometimes when these cars are so eviscerated. Fun color, though. And if it's actually from this area, it's actually in decent shape, rust-wise. As in, there's any car left at all. Looks like someone had to force entry into the trunk. Let's continue our march toward the back. Ooh, look at this poor car. What even is it? I think it's a Buick, maybe? Nope, Hyundai Santa Fe. Wow, look at that. Never ceases to amaze me how much fire can damage something. That is wild. So if you're someone who does any kind of rebuilding with cars, is this a standard thing? I've actually been to a bunch of junkyards, but never really seen too many people do this, where they not like cut the body, but cut the windshield too, just to get certain parts of the car. It would certainly make sense to do some rebuilding of a car for crash damage, but pretty wild. Also, pardon my squinting, it's this low winter sun, or late fall sun is getting to my eyes. Next time I'll have to wear sunglasses. This thing is kind of cool too. Old Oldsmobile. Actually not even all that bad, all things considered. I always thought this was such an interesting style at the time of the fake luggage rack at the back. Kind of endearing, but also a pretty silly feature when you really think about it. Any Pontiac vibe, either owners or fans out there? I've become kind of a bit of a fan of these recently when I discovered that they were literally just a Toyota Matrix. Except because they're a Pontiac, they often go for less money. Like, check out how cool of a design this is with this hard tray back here, and that way the way that folds down into, you know, almost like a pickup truck bed. Plus, it's essentially just a Corolla inside. You know, if you know a Toyota, you know that's a Corolla steering wheel and the powertrain's all Corolla. Pretty damn good deal. Here we got a nice old first gen Transit Connect. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story about how they imported these and avoided the commercial vehicle tax. I think these might be made more domestically as of recently, but what they used to do is for all of them, regardless of the passenger version or not, they would add a rear bench, therefore making a passenger vehicle, making it not have a commercial vehicle tax of 25%. And then when that got here, they took it out and shipped the seat back and did it again. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I used to think this, the Explorer Sport Track was just like the coolest thing ever. And I still think it actually is a very good looking car, or truck. Both true, I guess. Only problem is the bed in this thing is so short that it's a little bit useless. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I never quite understood the naming on this car. the Ford 500. Like, what are they exactly getting at? It's a, you know, perfectly reasonable, decent car. Actually, I always kind of like these, but what's with that? Here's a nice little life hack. If you're looking for some Nike Airs, come to a Junkyard. It's a great place to get them. I'm curious, do you guys miss the Mercury brand? It's a Mercury Sable, which used to see these everywhere. Now you rarely see them at all. I saw the little spoiler on this thing for a second. I thought it might have been an SVT Focus, but nope. Just a regular one. This area here is the Jeep graveyard. This Grand Cherokee looks like it was hit at some pretty substantial speed. And this yellow Wrangler over here too, looks like it was probably in a rollover. Probably not too bad of one, all things considered, probably only like rolled once. You could see the pillar damage and the corner damage. This whole side over here looks like the They Pull It side where all the very good stuff is, but you can see the quality difference immediately, and the brands. Like that Mini's basically fine looking. And here's the Hyundai section. I always thought it was interesting with the Cube how they use the glass wraparound here to have the funky asymmetrical look. You know, whether you like them or not, they are interesting cars, that's for sure. And you can see too the ripple effect off of the dome mirror. One of these strange features of this car. I think I learned that one from Doug DeMiro, because before he was a big YouTuber, he had one of these. You know, which kind of fits his uniqueness. And of course, too, the way they feature in the hinge, they have to have the bulge for it there. Quirky car, that's for sure. This thing's pretty interesting. Obviously, Dodge Challenger, but not often you see one with Rhino liner. Honestly, not as bad of a look as it maybe should be. Kind of going with that Mad Max vibe. This thing looks like it would have been fun at some point. This one's one of the ones that's like not entirely a camper, but almost is. More like a lightly a camper van. Does anybody know why so many of these trucks here are missing the back end? Is it just an ease of getting the bed off or the back axle or something? I don't quite understand that. Ooh. This one's a biohazard, that's for sure. It's funny how many of these things actually are fine despite being out in the rain and the open, and then which ones cannot stand it and immediately get moldy and gross. I don't know about you guys, but I always have such a fun time whenever I come to Junkyard. Ooh, that's a sort of special car. Not really. That's the Saab 9-7X, I think it is. Which is basically just the like Chevy, not the Chevy Traverse, the other one. But this thing is just a Chevy, but it's a Saab, at least on paper. Yeah, 9-7X. That's honestly pretty funny to see. The guy's moving the Ram 1500, and it's literally just splitting in half. This is actually kind of interesting. Although there's no vehicle per se, this actually might be kind of helpful for someone. The entire bed for a truck. And that's great because you can just put that on anything, really. They're not that particular. And over here we have the Swedish section, which is actually kind of extensive for what it is. I remember years ago, a gas station, I think in Canada or something, seeing somebody who had taken their crashed Volvo wagon, cut the front of it off, and turned it into a trailer to tow behind the new Volvo wagon. I always thought that'd be a pretty fun thing to do. It looks pretty cool when you do it too. I've seen it with Audis too. Damn. This one might just be the most ripped apart car here. What I can't tell is if somebody here took the roof off, if that's like a Jaws of Life thing from the fire department. And also, bullet holes maybe? What's the story there? I love they have this wall over here just littered with all the cool old taillights from all the older cars that used to be here. That's pretty fun. Probably pretty helpful if you're looking for it too. Ooh. These things are kind of dumb, but They're always something to sight, that's for sure. Subaru Baja. Strange vehicles. But I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. I think I'd probably still have this absolutely demolished Jaguar over any of the new EV rebranded ones coming soon. This old CLK comes with a water feature. Quite extravagant. Check this one out. That is one way of parting something out. I'm guessing they must have probably been hit and need the entire rear quarter, but that is just bizarre to see. Ooh, this thing's kind of a nice little oldie. A Golf Cabriolet. This here's an interesting example of how window tint can actually keep the window sort of in place. Obviously a bunch of it's crumbled and it's been here a while, but a lot of it's still hanging on because of that window tint. And we got the tiny corner of strange budget Euro cars. Of course, Minis and the Fiat 500. This one has seen better days. That's actually, who knows the details of the crash, but that is a bit damning of the crash safety of these things. I know these things are rated pretty poorly, but I mean, your legs would basically not survive that. That's horrible. I do have a bit of a soft spot for these. I've always liked the Abarth, and when I was in Poland last year, I rented one of these and actually kind of enjoyed it for what it was, although I'd never ever buy one myself. Well, maybe the Abarth I would. That thing's cool. These ones are actually made in Mexico. With the amount people are actually trying to keep their old Saabs alive, I actually wonder if the Saabs they do have at these junkyards actually are pretty popular cars for people to pick. Gotta love these hidden key slots on these German cars. Always kind of cool. This is the V8 one too, the 650. Although this one's no cylinders because it's gone. This thing might have to be my personal favorite car here. This is a pre-1990 Corvette C4. Nice color too. And I think I spotted, could this be Cadillac Alante? Not bad. This one's in bad shape, but pretty amazing that this thing was, or at least the body of this thing was actually flown from Italy. It's quite a story there in that car. And I also just missed this. This thing's actually going to be one of these probably future classics someday because of how much of a point in time it was. Cadillac Escalade Hybrid. Weird cars, probably a nightmare to own these days, but I'm sure those will be in museums someday. Look what we got here. Toyota Tercel. This is from the 90s. Actually, one of my family members used to have one just like this. Two-door also. Got the smart car, and I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe Buick with the side either faux or real exhaust. What do you guys think this thing is? These are an increasingly rare car. Got the first generation Prius. I think a lot of people don't even know these are Priuses and kind of don't know they ever existed. Alright, last but definitely not least. That is a pretty interesting thing to see here. Alfa Romeo Spider. Rough shape though. You never know what you'll find. Alright, well that wraps up this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys thought was the coolest thing here. And let me know if you like this too. I think I might try to do some more of these. But stay tuned. I got lots of things coming up. And thanks for watching.